Hello and welcome to the channel. In tonight's video, I'm going to be processing some ugly chicken. If you'd like to see what ugly chicken is and how I process it, stay tuned. I was able to pick up chicken for $1.29 a pound. My mother called me and told me that there was chicken at the grocery store and asked if I wanted some. So as you can see, I hope you all can see that. $1.29 a pound, and this bird was $5.50. So I picked up, I want to say 5 or 6 whole birds. I'm going to be processing them tonight by butchering them, taking out the innards because the innards are inside. I'm going to be skinning them and getting them in my jars. This is going to be a pressure canning session tonight. And the reason why it's ugly is because this is going to be a cold pack, cold meat, cold jars, cold canner. And when you do that, the chicken looks really streaky. The fat looks streaky and ugly in the jar. So that's why it's called ugly chicken. I am using that phrase. I heard it off of another YouTuber's channel. I'll put a link to the description box below where I saw her can ugly chicken. So let's get started. Full transparency, this is a horrifying experience for me. I don't like handling meat as it is, and this is messy. I'm washing up to my elbows. It's a lot. I'm going to process this chicken off camera because this is way too much for me. I don't like the mess of it. It's just grossing me out. This is the skins and the back pieces over here. I've got the drumsticks, the thighs, the breasts, and the innards rinsed on this side. You all have seen chicken pieces before. I hope you've seen chicken pieces before. I'm going to get this processed, meaning I'm going to get it cleaned up, skinned, rinsed, cut up, put in the jars, and then I'll be back because this is messing with my OCD. And I don't know how much more of this I can take, but I have many more chickens to do, and it's hard to function. So I do apologize, and I hope that there are others out there like me. Normally, my husband would be the one to take care of the chicken, but he's not available to do that. So it is all me having to do this. So yeah, okay. Let me turn on some music and try to process this chicken. Okay, family. Full transparency, I'm at a place in the process where I can show you all some of what I'm doing. I, as you know, am canning ugly chicken. I've been cutting up the chicken, putting the legs, the thighs, and the breasts cut up into cubes in jars. But the breastbone and the backbone, I have been putting in food saver bags. I will be using these items right here, and also little pieces of chicken that had little bones in it that I didn't cut quite right off of the breast or the back. And I'm putting them in food saver bags so I can use these for stock, for soups, stews, and things like that. So if you're going to cut up chicken, buy a whole chicken, cut it up, and use all the pieces. I've learned that recently. This is my first experience cutting up chicken. And again, full transparency. I hope I don't sound too bad, but I feel awful. Like I mentioned, I don't generally cut up chicken meat. It's something that makes me feel very ill. I feel like I'm going to throw up. I don't like the smell. I don't like the taste of it. Now, you've seen me process meat before, but you have to understand this happens to me, and I decided to show you all and tell you, well, not show you, but tell you how I feel this time, because I'm hoping that in me sharing my real and honest experience that it might help someone. People shy away from doing things because of how it makes them feel. And cooking meat makes me feel very ill. I've been taking breaks because, like I said, usually my spouse will do the cutting of the meat for me. If he's not available, I will work my way through it, but I do have to take breaks because the smell of it, the feel of it makes me feel sick, and I feel very sick right now. But I wanted to share that with you guys so that you all can see that there are people like myself. We're out here, this does happen, and I don't want anyone to shy away if they have family that eat meat. Now, don't mistake me. I do eat meat sometimes. I eat chicken. I eat a lot of fish. Uh, but for some reason, poultry makes me feel like this. I don't eat beef. I stopped eating red meat in my 20s, and that was a very long time ago. So it's just something about poultry that makes me feel very ill. But I wanted to share that with you guys. So I'm going to put this in the freezer and take a break. You all won't notice it, but I'll be back. I'm sure you all see a lot of my mess over here. This is all my cleaning and canning. I clean as I go. I'm still filling my jars, but along the way, I want to tell you what I'm doing. I'm putting my meat in my jars. I'm putting a dried bouillon in my jar, chicken bouillon, and I'm going to top this off once I finish filling this up with water. I've got some water in my kettle over there, and I'm going to put water in my jars. I have right now 2 jars of thighs as well as 2 jars of drumsticks, and I have 3 jars of chicken breasts. So let me keep going on, and I'll be back. I am at the last home stretch. I have cut up all of the meat. I have put what I need to put in the freezer, except for the last few pieces in the sink. These are my last 2 jars that I'm going to be putting in the canner. I have had to break out the 23-quart canner. I've double stacked. I've also brought out the 16-quart pressure canner, and these are going to go in that one. I was going to put more chicken in the canner, but in all honesty, I've been up since late yesterday. It is now the following morning, and I am tired. So I'm going to put some more meat in the freezer and call it a night. Can't do any more. I'm exhausted. So I'm going to put this in and let it run for, I want to say, an hour and 15 minutes. I have to check the Ball Blue Book one more time to make sure I have my time correct. I am following the recipe in the Ball Blue Book, and I want to say it says chicken with bone in. It's an hour and 15 minutes, but I will be double checking that. Right now I'm checking my headspace, making sure I have a 1-inch headspace. I am debubbling. I am also cleaning the rims of the jars. I did all of that. These are the last 2 off camera. And so you all can see that this is the process. For those of you who are new watching my channel, I have a significant amount of new subscribers that have joined Clausen World recently. And I want to make sure that I am going over my steps just in case this is the first time you've seen me can. And if you'd like to see a more in-depth canning session, please, by all means, go to my playlist. And I have a playlist for all things dehydrated and canning. So please, if you'd like to see me completely can from start to finish, that's where you would go to check out those videos. This video is a little choppy. I do apologize for that. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm not feeling great. And I'm just trying to accomplish this so that I can lay down. So in the canner, this is going to go. and then I'll be right back. And what I'm using, just in case you weren't aware, before I put this in the canner, this is just distilled white vinegar. And the reason why I'm using distilled white vinegar is this is meat, and there's lots of residue and things in that nature. I also put that that bouillon in there, and you want to make sure that there's no residue on your rims, because that will prevent your seal, which is the rubber gasket right here, that will prevent that from sealing. So you have to make sure that you clean off your rims, and you're also checking to make sure that there are no chips, no dings, or anything like that, and there aren't. So in the canner, this goes. And you put on your band, fingertip tight. All right, let's look and see how long we process this, and then turn the canners on. The chicken has been loaded to the canners. The 16-quart canner is processing. The 23-quart canner is still coming up to pressure. It's really strange. I put them both on at the same time, but the 16-quart came up much faster, and it is rocking and rolling. 23-quart still has a little ways to go. It is just now beginning to vent a tiny bit of steam, so I'm sure it'll get started soon. So hopefully at some point I'll get a little bit of sleep. Okay, I did not get to finish off my video the way I'm accustomed to finishing off my video because I was really feeling quite poorly. The chicken, as you can see, has been processed. The jars have been cleaned and they're about ready to go into the pantry. I gave 2 of these wide mouth pint-sized jars over to a family member. They were going to go to the store and buy some canned chicken, and I gave them 2 jars and said, try this. If you like it, let me know. We can work something out. I can can some chicken for you. That way you don't have to purchase store-bought canned chicken. On this side of my kitchen, I also have these stackable pint-sized jars. Now, these are filled with the drumsticks and the thighs. The wide mouth, squatty pint-sized jars on the other side of the cabinet are filled with the breast meat. I think I might have 1 jar that has some thigh meat in there, but that's because I had one of these stackable jars that I used for a prior canning video, so I didn't have it available, but that's quite all right. You can with the jars you need when you're canning. And so this is it for me today, everybody. I have canned 6 whole chickens. What I put in the freezer,
you guys are getting a glimpse of my freezer. I have chicken skins. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use those, but I know my husband really likes pork skins, and I had an idea that maybe this might be a better solution. I have 2 quart-sized bags of, and I've got 6 bags of, two quart-sized bags of skins, 2 quart-sized bags of wings, 6 like half-gallon sized bags of backs and breast bones. And I want to say, yeah, that's it. That's all the meat I've went ahead on and put in the freezer. So that's the frozen bit.
For this canning session today. This is actually 2 days later because it took me in the whole of yesterday to kind of recoup and feel better. And I ended up falling asleep early because I didn't get hardly any sleep. I was up all night to the next morning till about 6 o'clock in the morning canning because it took me a long time to get this done from start to finish. So that is it for me, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's different for me, but I hope that you appreciate my candor. So until I see you again, I hope to see you either in my kitchen or my garden real soon. Bye for now.